News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Chris Krok Show. Okay, the opening ceremonies with the Olympics is so horrible and mocking of Christians that the Olympics has deleted, I should say the Olympics coverage on their YouTube page has literally deleted. They just deleted. Oops, they memory holded it. It never happened. They just deleted the opening ceremony of the Olympics off of their YouTube page. Never happened. Guess what else never happened? A tweet that one of the French performers in the opening ceremonies where they took the Leonardo da Vinci painting of the Last Supper and made it into a show filled with LGBTQ+++, all sorts of folks like that in that realm on the stage. They're acting as the Jesus and the 12 apostles. One of the French performers posted a picture of the final scene of the infamous performance with a direct comparison to the Last Supper. After the French changed their minds, she quickly deleted the post. Oh, another deletion. Okay. Meanwhile, the Olympics say they are really sorry if they offended anybody. There was never any intention of offending Christians. Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect. Clearly. Sorry, you are mistaken. There was never any intention to show disrespect of any religious group. I can't read this without laughing. Opening ceremony tried to celebrate community tolerance. Community, right? Community. Okay. The apology is hard to believe, journalist Colin Rugg says, considering the self-described obese Jewish, this is what she calls herself, the obese Jewish queer lesbian who played Jesus, she labeled the performance the New Gay Testament. The New Gay Testament. Are you starting to see that this is exactly what it was? It is as it was. As when they said Habemos Papa years ago, and they had a new pope, and he talked about, remember the pope at the time, I think it was the German pope, who said, it is as it was, about that's all he said, about the nebulous sayings about the amazing film, the groundbreaking film, Mel Gibson, The Passion of the Christ. It is as it was. They described it as a mocking of Christianity, and here you go. Here we go, and here's my favorite. One of my favorites, my buddy Eric Erickson, today, his blog, Olympic-level gaslighting. It's Olympic-level gaslighting. A number of reporters now have, quote, fact-checked the presentation, declared it false to say it was represented the Lord Jesus Christ in the Last Supper. Just one problem. The actual name of the presentation of the program for the opening ceremonies is La Scène sur la Seine, which translates to, and I don't know how to pronounce all this French stuff, the Last Supper on stage in the Seine. Is it the River Seine, the River Seine, or the River Seine? I don't know. What do I know? I don't speak French. The Last Supper on a stage in the Seine, the Seine River, whatever it's called. Okay? So that literally is the title of it, The Last Supper on Stage at the Seine River. I mean, that's the title of it. But no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't this. It wasn't The Last Supper. No. Even Fox News' Jesse Waters believed it wasn't mocking the Last Supper. I mean, you got to be a mental midget to not think that was mocking the Last Supper. The Olympic presentation was literally called, as Jeff Blahar says too, on his blog, La Scène sur de un scène sur la Seine, the Last Supper on stage in the Seine. They think you're easily gaslighted. They have contempt for you, prole, he says, in response to somebody else tweeting, some are angry about the, quote, anti-depiction of the Last Supper. A Dutch artist historian explains it's not the Last Supper. These people! See, us knuckle dragger people, us cretins, us plebes, we don't even know the truth, even though they've told us the truth. We believe them at their word. We just don't understand. We don't understand any of this. Here's my question for you. When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christians, the Christian religion, the Christian faith? When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian faith? Our number, of course, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP, taking your call right now. Chime in. We got 3 lines open. Get on board, y'all. 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. Oh, let's see. This is from MSN's coverage of it. I think it's the Washington Post, actually, via MSN. I'll share this with you in just a second, but it's incredible how obvious this is and how we're supposed to pretend it wasn't, and it's okay. I have my answer as to why it's okay to attack Christianity, but why didn't they do this about the Prophet Muhammad? Why didn't they go after Muslims? I have my answer for that, and coming up at 8:15. At 8:15, stand by for that. Joe in Grapevine, WBAP. Hello,
Chris. I'm pretty sure I agree with you how you feel about this. I am going to the first time in decades, and I'm no young man, I will not be watching the Olympics at all. I love to support the USA, but Chris, this is just too much. It was obvious they were mocking our religion, your religion, I know you, and mine. And if it was anyone else, why don't they take the Muslim religion, the Israeli religion? Why don't they take any of them and do that the same thing and see how they feel? Because most of the Arabic and Indian and Pakistanis, they don't approve of this at all. And we know what they do in Iran.
Here's why. People attack what is true. People attack what is true. We, Christian faith, my faith, is under attack because it is true. It is that simple. And that is why it's okay to attack Christians. It is not okay to attack Muslims. Number one, look what happened the last time anybody parodied Islam in France. Charlie Hebdo. One of the terrorists from Radical Islam went in and slaughtered people inside of the newspaper. It's amazing, all of these extravagant, lavish caricatures of humanity mocking us today are these over-the-top leftists and characters thereof. They don't attack what they're afraid of. They're afraid of attacking Islam. Many of the far left are not afraid of attacking Judaism, which is extremely wrong. But the left is deathly afraid of attacking Islam. And that's pretty striking. And people need to ask why. I appreciate your call, Joe. Thank you. Okay, lines wide open once again, which is pretty amazing. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian faith? Would you ever see another faith on display in the Olympics, in any country, ever, mocking Islam? Do you think it's ever going to happen? And why is it that it's now in fashion on the world stage, in their opinion? I mean, you wouldn't do this if it was not acceptable. And I actually am ashamed to say that so far only one major company has pulled their advertising from the Olympics. I'm grateful they did. It's a tech company that's out of Mississippi, and Governor Tate Reeves praised it. But I don't understand why other companies aren't pulling out with it. I mean, and look, you notice I'm not, you know what's missing tonight is my is anger. I want to explain why I'm not angry, but I'm very opinionated on this. Coming up next, we have 2 lines open. Finally, chime in. You'll be up next. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. When did it become so in fashion to bash Christian faith? That's next on the Chris Krok Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, and a lot more of my take on this, as I said, next. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. The Olympics absolutely mocking Christianity with a drag queen Last Supper portrayal. In fact, all of their words, including the title of the presentation, were all mocking the Last Supper. This was not a separate portrayal of something else. That is a lie. They have deleted the video of it on YouTube. Two of the performers in it have deleted their comments prior to this, saying it was the Last Supper. And we know the truth. And here's a little more coverage that was on MSN. I think this is from the Washington Post or New York Times. Anyways, they had it there on MSN today. A woman with a halo-like crown in the role of Jesus, as well as drag queens and gay icons as disciples, crashed by a scantily clad blue man wearing a headdress of fruit. Dionysus, the Greek god of fertility, wine, and revelry. Speaker Johnson of the House here in America Saturday called it a mockery that was shocking and insulting to Christian people around the world. And telecommunications firm C Spire said it was pulling its advertising from the Summer Games. The French Conference of Catholic Bishops also objected to that. And organizers reportedly acknowledged Sunday that Jolly, who is the name of the artist who put this whole thing together, quote, took inspiration from Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting to create the setting. Oh! If the name called the Last Supper on the scene on the Seine, or whatever the river's pronounced. Jolly is not the first artist, quote, to make the reference to a world-famous work of art. They said in 2024, the rap... they said in a statement to quote the rap, and from Andy Warhol to The Simpsons, many have done it before him. So they were absolutely referencing that scene. And we all know it. So why did it become? When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian faith? Look, that's my faith too, as you know, as a regular listener to this show. I'm open about it, and what my opinion is, you attack the truth. And it's a threat because it's the truth. And it's not a threat. Christians are the last people to threaten anybody. It's all about defending yourself, but it's okay to go on the offense if it's to protect yourself as well. But people go after what they believe is true. That's all there is to it. And I want to know why they won't go after the Islamic faith. Why won't they mock that? Isn't that crazy? 800-288-WBAP is our number. Donna in... Let's see here in North Richland Hills. You are on WBAP. What's up?
Chris, I've been listening to commentary since last night, all day today, and I was just so excited when I heard you say that. You nailed it. That is exactly why that happened that way. We know as Christians that all roads don't lead to heaven, and we know what the truth is. And all of those other religions don't matter in spiritual warfare, which is what this is, to Satan. He knows what the truth is, and that's why this was chosen, and for no other reason, because none of the others matter.
Donna, I appreciate
it. You nailed it.
That means everything to me that you just said that. You warmed my heart, and you blessed me tonight. By the way, why do you think they haven't gone after Islam?
Because it's like I said, all roads do not lead to heaven. It's a false religion.
Okay, is it possible they're also afraid? Is it possible they're also afraid? Like these people are clearly not afraid of quote radical Christians coming after them. They're not.
Well, I think, like I said, it's spiritual warfare, and these people, that you know how they get turned over to all of their
devices,
blaspheme, and yes.
Thank you for your wonderful words and your encouragement. I appreciate you very much. Let's go to Jeff in Dallas. Jeff, WBAP.
Yeah, thank you. Just briefly, I want to cover early in the 20th century, the Armenian genocide.
Yeah.
Here we are in the 21st century, and they're persecuted again. We're so blessed here in America that the persecution of Christians worldwide is, many genocides and death often. But as far as more directly to your question, our country, I totally agree that it is about the truth, and that this has been going on for decades, maybe progressively. Your imaginary friend, your crutch, talking about your elders that have such faith that you grew up with and learned from and leaned on. So, and I think clearly, I'm a veteran, and I'm 67 years old. I've been around, and clearly they're afraid of Islam. They're scared to death of them.
It's amazing, isn't it? It sounds to me like the only thing it sounds to me that the only thing they won't mock is Islam because they're afraid that they will get hurt or killed by it. It sounds to me like that's what you're saying. And they clearly are not afraid of getting hurt from Christianity or Christians that are mocked. That's against what we should do if you're a practicing Christian. So, and by the way, we don't turn the other cheek on that. That's an individual basis. Turn the other cheek is not for a corporate basis or a country. Just so you understand that interpretation. It's not turning the other cheek. It's just that this is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to mock us. And we don't have to subscribe to it. We don't have to watch it. We don't have to take it. Hey, did you hear what Whoopi Goldberg said? I'm going to play that next. What does she say about this? I don't agree with it in any way. I'll play it for you in a little bit. Let's go to Jay in Irving. Jay, WBAP, what do you got?
Well, they are afraid of the Muslims, but the only religion they ever mock is Christianity because it is the one true religion. They've got hard stone hearts. They've got stiff necks and bitter souls, and they hate God because they can't live their life the way they want to live it till the end and get away with it. And that's heartbreaking because we want to just tell them, we want to share the love of God and the truth with them. But I want you to think about this. I don't know how long they've been using all these ceremonies like at the Olympics and the Super Bowl as satanic rituals. But if you pull up Madonna at the Super Bowl, she was dressed as Baphomet, and at the end, the floor opens up, flames shoot out, and she falls into hell. And then the English or the Britain Olympics, they had COVID spiked organisms running around.
Let me put you on hold to let you finish your last point. Stand by. You can finish your last point. Your call as well. When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian faith regarding the Olympics? And I'll get the Whoopi Goldberg this morning. She was dismissing Christians that are offended by this. All that is next. Why do you think they're not going after other faiths? Isn't that interesting? All right, we're also going to get into this next. Remember Jeremiah Wright? Kamala Harris has a Jeremiah Wright, and she still has, it's current, it's in the now. He's everywhere, and it's bad. All that next on the Chris Krok Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Now let's hear the Whoopi Goldberg on The View, the leftist hens who hate Orange Man. Here they are with Whoopi mocking us being offended, us Christian folk being offended by the Olympics, mocking Christianity with the drag queen Last Supper portrayal. Question I'm asking you with 3 lines open. Chime in right now, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian faith? When did that start happening? When did that become okay? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Here's Whoopi in what she says.
Come on, y'all. It's the Olympics. Stop. They're not trying to do anything except talk about the history.
Hold on. We have stop it. Stop. Remember Stewart, the character that what's his name played on Mad TV, the show that launched Jim Carrey's career? Stop it! All right, let's continue on here.
They're showing you the history. There are too many people in the picture for it to be the 12 disciples and then the 7 or 8 other people who are in the picture. Well, and it's just more people. When you're not happy with something and it bothers you, don't take 20 hours to write an email. Just turn the TV off.
Okay. Don't write an email. Don't be upset. Just turn the TV off. I think turning the TV off is fine. I think if you want to boycott it, that's fine. But, why won't they attack another faith or mock or pick on another faith? Why don't any people on the left ever go after Islam? Isn't that interesting? Why always Christianity? Interesting, isn't it? And by the way, I've said before, people on the left, unfortunately, many of them don't have faith in a faith in anything as far as I don't want to say the word religion because it's not religion. It's a relationship for me. But nonetheless, you can say a religion in some way or what. I think their religion is the LGBTQIA, Ukraine. It's the political identity is their faith. I really think that's the problem here. They fill that hole in their heart with something else. And in this case, it's this faith about the climate, fake climate crisis, LGBTQIA+++, all sorts of things. And this is their faith. And they wear it on their sleeves. They live it. They breathe it. And I think that's a disease. And I think it's a bad place to be. When you can't be very, very close, like I am with my one of my best friends that we became super close at when we were 16. And he's a liberal Jew who was in my wedding, and I was in his wedding. And we just got together at a bar in Chicago for several hours. My wife came. We love each other. And we don't agree on anything political, but we still love each other. When you can't have that, there's a real problem. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Jay and Irving, you wanted to finish off. So you talked about how all these different things, cultural things, moments where these celebrities mocked Christianity, Madonna, and then you were saying there's this COVID thing. I don't know what you're going to say. You had one or two more things real quick.
Yeah, at the English Olympics in Britain, they had people running around in COVID spike suits before the COVID had hit. And I rewatched it.
That's so funny. I'm not mocking you. I'm laughing at listen, I'm not mocking you. I'm laughing at the situation. These people are morons, whoever these people are. Go ahead.
And the artist Jolly, he can't even come up with an original idea. The Last Supper.
Yes, he can. Mock anything that is a Christian icon or Christian symbol.
But artists have used the Last Supper to mock God more than a 4-year-old has scribbled on a coloring book. I mean, come on, guys, come up with an original idea. And they have been attacking Jesus since the cross 2,000
right.
years ago.
That's why this shouldn't surprise anybody. This shouldn't surprise anybody.
That's when it started.
Yeah. I appreciate your call. You know what else I was just reminded of what he said? Remember that artist, I'm not going to call him an artist, but he was called an artist, who urinated in a jar and put a crucifix in it, and it was on display at a museum in Manhattan. Remember that? That guy has to be one of the biggest losers to this day. I don't know his name. I don't know what kind of art he does other than urinating in a jar and putting a cross in there. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. I mean, it's just grade school level stuff. And here's the thing. Nobody's going to come attack you for that. But I would like to see them do the same thing to the Islamic faith and see what would happen. See, if to me, if you want to impress me with cojones and you want to mock a faith, why don't you go after Islam? Let's see how that plays out. Let's see you do that. You want to impress me? I'm not telling anybody to do this. I'm just saying, if you one of these crazed leftist people that mocks Christianity, I'd like to see you do that with equal verb of Islam, for example. I'm not picking on it. I'm just saying, where are the people that mock? I've not seen anybody. The last time I saw somebody do it was South Park, and guess what they did? They yanked it. Remember that? They yanked it. Meanwhile, they totally mock Christians. They mock, what are they called? Mormons. One of them's from Utah or Colorado, where there's a lot of Mormon people. And they're like, and they constantly mock Mormons. Mormons don't go after them. Mormons aren't threatening them. But when they did Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad, was that bear or something like that. We're so sorry. Comedy isn't fearless anymore. When Charlie Hebdo did a column, or a cartoon about Prophet Muhammad, what happened? People got killed. So, do you see Christians going into classrooms in France, beheading people with a teacher with their bare hands and a machete? like what radical Islamists have done. Okay, Brent in Bridgeport. Brett, WBAP. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Well, so my comment, I'm not an expert by any means, but I think Christianity is just an easy target because a lot of the people that are making fun or mocking the Christians, they don't know a lot about these other religions to make a comment on. You know, they're just simple-minded people.
Why don't they mock people? And I mean, I'm not suggesting they do this, but I'm like, why don't they mock what is easy to do with Islam? Why don't you mock the Prophet Muhammad? Why don't you mock what is important to them, like Ramadan or. And I'm not telling people to do this. I'm like, there's things that are the women, and I'm not saying they should do this, but why don't they mock women who wear hijabs?
I agree.
I mean, there's simple things they could do. I wouldn't do it either. I'm not condoning. I'm not suggesting. I'm just saying, why don't they ever do that? But you go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just saying, I think the other reason why they do that is because they know that they're going to have a higher, I guess, listener base or watcher base of Christians, that they're going to get a bigger reaction. They kind of want to start, they like instigating things. So I believe that, if they can find a larger group of people that are going to be potentially watching or listening, that they'll get a bigger reaction from it. And maybe that's just what they thrive off of. They get their rocks off to it.
Well, they want to get off on upsetting us. They don't like us Christian folk. And I think they're afraid to attack Islam, and I think they're afraid. I think that's the one of faith they're afraid to attack. I think many of them despise Judaism. They say it sometimes openly, sometimes they say it quietly. But it seems anti-Semitism seems virulent, a strain through leftist all over the world. Okay, Jason in North Richland Hills. To say that in one word, it's Jason. Jason, you are next. Do I want to pop him in real fast or no? Yeah? Okay. Jason, we can put you on now. In North Richland Hills. What's up, WBAP?
Yeah, man, the background for USA, Christianity country here, we've had 12 years now, Barack Hussein Obama. What was the name of the guy?
I'm sorry, you refer to him as President Hussein Obama. Go ahead, sir.
Well,
former President Hussein Obama. Go ahead, sir.
Correcto. But anyway, so the guy that was leading Iraq that we had to take out, his last name was Hussein, too. Point is, this is all about Muslims. This is about this guy hating about the foundation of our country, Christianity, importing all these people into our country, making Christianity not cool anymore, being a Marxist like he is. That's what they're doing. That's why we are the number one.
And you're saying that's the same thing what they're doing with the mocking of the picture of the 12 disciples, the painting.
No, what I'm saying is that the trend that this guy has done with the United States, we've torn down Christianity, so we no longer influence the world like we used to.
And then you say you're a Christian, like Barack, I think, does and did. Remember his beloved pastor, Jeremiah Wright. Nah, GD America. All right, now see, I've busted out my Reverend Wright. It's been a decade. Nah. That is my. Anyway, I'm just beginning. The juices of my Reverend Jeremiah Wright impersonations are flowing. You said, but anyway, ... You were digressing.
Well, no. The fact of the matter is, we've had this guy for 12 years. He wants to have as many Muslims in this country as possible, and anything that's not Christian, he wants them here. You can't argue with that, right?
Jason, I appreciate your call, my brother.
All right, man. Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. All right, 800-288-WBAP. Speaking of GD America. You like that? You like my little Reverend Jeremiah? I got one thumb up. What do I got over here? Do I got two thumbs up? No? One? I got one thumb up there. I got two thumbs over there too. I got 6 thumbs up! I got 2 thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. This is unprecedented.
Oh, Hercules.
All right, why am I reprising the Reverend Jeremiah Wright with this GD America? I'll tell you why. Because we now have a new Jeremiah Wright introducing the pastor for over 25 years, the woman she talked to the other day when she was handed to the presidency by the soft coup, who she was on the phone with immediately, is it appears just as bad as Reverend Jeremiah Wright. In fact, it looks like he's worse. I'm not kidding. Wait till you hear that. And I will ask you not only about her pastor that's come to light today, but Democrats privately anxious about Kamala's ability to even defeat Trump. A historian has bad news for us that's always predicted the right president since 1984. And we have a new journalist coming out saying Obama actually threatened Biden with the 25th Amendment. And are you a white dude for Harris? Are you wearing a hat right now that says white dudes for Harris? They're supposedly everywhere. All that next. Chris Krok Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. More Olympics calls, which is fantastico. Ay muy fantastico, por favor. Asking you, when did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian religion? Or as I say, it's a faith. It's not a religion, a faith. When did it become so in fashion to bash the Christian faith? Okay, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. We've already established by many, many, many things publicly posted by two different people in the ceremony. The actual name of the ceremony, it absolutely unequivocally was mocking the Last Supper for Christ. And why no other faiths? Why aren't they attacking Islam? Why do they seemingly never attack Islam and only do Christianity? And I'm not calling for people to do that. I'm just asking why. Why is it okay to come after our faith? And I've already told you, because it's true. And they feel threatened by it. And that's why they love going after it. And I don't know why. If you want to actually impress me, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do this, the left should go after, not go after, but have comedy or mocking of Islam and see what happens. I mean, why don't you? Why are you afraid of that? You're supposed to be so bold and fearless and such a victim. Why, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's okay. I'm not afraid of you, and I'm not, you mock yourself really in the end. Okay, let's go to Rose in Canton. Rose, what do you got? WBAP.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
I wanted to expand just a little on the conversation.
Sure.
The Last Supper is offensive, but I was also offended by Blue Man Mr. Scrotum, which I know that was part of it, but also...
Yeah, that guy, was this junk hanging out? I supposedly it was. I didn't see so, and I wasn't looking there.
I think it was.
His junk was hanging out. That wasn't part of a fruit bowl or something?
Well, it looked like it was. And certainly, like, my son called me and said, Mom, did you see that?
Actually, there's a move. There's a vile move that teenagers do called a fruit bowl. That maybe he was doing that move. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So also, there was no doubt about the reference to Menage a Trois.
I wouldn't doubt it. I didn't study it that well, but I wouldn't doubt it at all. Absolutely not.
Well, you had three sort of fluid, gender fluid clowns in a library, sort of being very
with Professor Plum and the candlestick, which that was a joke about.
They were, they were being very sensual towards each other.
I don't doubt it.
They took off and went into like a hotel room or apartment or something.
Well, Menage a Trois is French, and I'm sure that wasn't made up out of whole cloth. I'm sure it's because it goes on all the time.
No, it was they were like, it was very...
I wish them all the best with STDs, Ghana, Paya, and Donna, all the three Rhea sisters. And the herps and everything else, So God bless those fools, if you will. Yeah.
How many aspiring young athletes are watching?
Well, let me tell you the best thing. That's a perfect point. And one more thing, they've robbed the athletes of the dignity of the Olympics now. Yeah,
and
great call.
I know my daughter, when she was younger, we just lived to watch. The sports in the Olympics, and I can hear these kids now going, Mommy, what does that mean? Mommy, what is that? Mommy, what are those three people doing together?
Yeah, I agree.
That's just sick.
Rose, wonderful call, really. Audia in Forney, hello. Thanks for listening to WBAP.
Hello. what I have discerned from this is that if they attacked, Islam doesn't allow gays, drag queens.
Yeah, the Hamas, who they support, kills gays, hangs gays.
Yeah.
Islam, in Muslim countries, they slaughter gays, yes. But we don't want to say that. Bibi Netanyahu pointed out. We're not allowed to say that.
But that's why they don't want to say, attack Islam, because Islam would. I mean, remember the guy that was drawing the cartoons about Muhammad?
Charlie Hebdo. That's what I was saying earlier. Mm-hmm. That was in France. Him. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they tried to kill him.
And the South Park felt the threat was so real from jihadis, they yanked it. So there you go. There you go. I'm not suggesting anybody do any of that stuff physical, but it seems to me they don't have any I have to say it, balls. Comedic balls. They don't have any. They've been emasculated, haven't they? Interesting. All right. Jordan Davis, as I said, meet Kamala Harris's radical pastor who makes, what's his name, Jeremiah Wright? Nah, GED America. You'll meet her pastor coming up next. I'm not kidding. He's worse. I think he's a tie at least. And then are there any white dudes for Harris walking around with hats that say white dudes for Harris? Or is it more like an extinct or rare species in the wild that has never been seen? Because they say this is a thing now. All that next to the Chris Krok Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.